Alright, we're at 317 North Broadway in Redondo Beach. We're going to do a video inspection from a 6-inch end of the line clean out here by the sidewalk. Alright, here we go into the 6-inch. Yeah, feel free to look at this. Looks like we might have had a root ball right at the very bottom there, I'm not sure. Covered up my lens pretty quick there.
If I remember right, there's a break right about here.
Yeah, see there's some root right there, you can see it. And there was some debris right there before, yeah, there's some debris in there. Alright, we got a little water going now, which actually helps keep the line clear. Okay, so there was some root right there. There's some more root here. A good cluster, it's kind of in there a ways, yeah. Okay, and a cluster. Yeah, this is a lot of root. Every connection's showing root. You have connections every 3 feet.
Okay.
And you got root every 3 feet there, boom. Actually, it might be even every 2 feet on these. These are really close. This is a big street. Here, we're going to drop in right here. Have a little bit of a turn in the pipe right here. Yeah, see we're dropping down, I can tell by the way the water's going down. And then the connection is right here.
Is that the junction there at the city?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see it. I see the water going black.
Yeah, we got some root right there too, I believe, right? Oh, maybe not.
I thought I saw some minor roots in there towards that city line.
Oh, that's just the pipe.
Okay.
Or some sludge, one or the other. It's not root. Yeah, that's the pipe. Okay. Sorry, let me look at this.
That's all right. Thinking it might be definitely this guy here, and maybe that tree too, possibly going out, weed clearing out this way.
Yeah, it's the trees in the area, definitely. But this is actually pretty good right at the connection. I don't see any root here.
You mean, are we right underneath here now, or are we at the end?
No, we're at the very, we're in the middle of the street, or even possibly slightly towards the other side of the street.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the first coupling right there. Yeah, see, we could jump right over it. See, we got a few inches before we get to it. Right there, we're going back. It's a Y fitting, so you're going back, going back, going back. And then right there is the joint right there.
Okay.
And there's no root there.
That's actually good then.
Yeah, that's very good. Very good for right there, yeah. And you can see the rubber in the collar right there. That's the black rubber. And then so we're going back. So our first root that we're seeing here, because there's a joint right here. You can see that's a piece of broken root right there, but this joint right here looks good. There's no root there. See, there's a little piece of broken root right there.
Okay.
And we look at the joints here. It looks like the joints are spaced apart a little bit more here. There's our next joint. Once again, that looks good. That joint there looks good. Once we started hitting the root, we got a lot of root every joint, but right now, see, still no root.
Does it look like to you, Paul, that basically it's from where you are now to like the curb, that was where most of the problems are?
There's our first little bit of root right there.
Uh-huh.
We're going to survey that to
Okay.
answer your questions, by the way.
Okay.
A little bit more root. Okay, so what was our footage again?
This is my wife, Liz, Paul. Hello,
Doesn't
Liz.
it look like? I mean, you.
I suppose that's what it would probably look like.
Doesn't make any sense.
Without the pipe joints, I guess. Hopefully.
Do you understand? Right? Look.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing as far as where the camera is and where the joints are. It all looks kind of like a big pipe to me. You know, and then when you see the roots, you see the roots. Give Sherry the packet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Paul, need water or anything? Water?
No, we're good. Thank you. Yeah. So if you wanted me to sleeve this line, it'd run you 7,400. Do this. You have a decent distance. We have about 65 feet of pipe to do.
Okay.
So that's a decent run. Usually the so-called city laterals, as we call them, are not that long. You have obviously a big street, and the sewer's probably towards the other side of the street.
Oh, really?
Judging by the distance. Plus, you got a decent section of property just between there and the site and the curb too. You got this big island here. But was judging by how. Yeah, see there's our manhole hole. Yeah. I could tell by there. I didn't look at the manhole, but to show you the manhole. This is an example of what the curative plate pipe looks like outside the pipe. But it's never really outside the pipe, inside the pipe. So this is like forward. So that's what it is. You see where it kind of peels the joints up there, which is all where the root comes in. So what we do is we hydrate all that root out of it. And then we shoot the whole basically shoot this in here. Well, it's a thin pipe within the wall wheel pipe. That's maybe a better way to put it. We call it curative plate piping. So this could actually stand alone.
but it's not standing alone. It's working in conjunction with other parts. It seals up the joints and everything. And this actually has some flexibility. So if that pipe moves a little bit, this can't tell you can't move. Whereas the clay pipe, a rigid pipe, meaning it has no flexibility at all. That's why the joints are we have to dig right there at the right where the thing out is. That's it. One day. It's possible we may come and do the dig up one day and then come back the next day, shoot it in the morning, and have it covered up. It's possible we take 2 days. It's only one day, and during the day, that's yeah, we're gonna, in the building, we're gonna cut the water off, just so people will flush toilets without, so we generally let them do cut the water off. But still, you've got one flush and toilet things that still could come out, but we can deal with that. We want to make sure the showers and water.
And there's a water main right there.
Yeah.
Shut that building off.
All right. Technically, we don't have to have the water shut off per se, we just have to have no water drainage. But the two go hand in hand, though. When the water's on, people will automatically flush their toilets and stuff.
But the good thing is during the day, usually most of the time people aren't here. Hopefully, they're out working. Hopefully,
Most people are gone. There's one or two people that kind of
retired or working at home. Yeah, that's working at home
for the
today.
most part. There's not that many people there.
So there you go. Now let me give you another option, which is a temporary fix, but it's going to be a better fix than you're getting now.
Okay.
And that's to do with what's called the hydrojet. Are you familiar with that at all?
Yeah, somewhat. I've heard about it.
Yeah, it's basically instead of snaking it out, you're cleaning it out with high pressure water with the right nozzle.
It's almost like a power washer or a pressure washer.
It's kind of like that, but you're cutting root. And you're working in conjunction with the camera too.
I see.
So you're going to get all the root out of there. And then once we get all the root out of there, we could give you a 1-year guarantee on it. And that would run $600.
Really?
Yeah. So it's a big price difference. So
Yeah.
you kind of have an option, and some people do this. They'll get this done every year, as opposed to
Almost like a maintenance program.
Correct. And then you're probably problem-free between those periods. You're not guaranteed to be problem-free. You're guaranteed that if it does back up within that year, we'll come out and do it again at no charge. And of course, your guarantee date starts at the date of the time that the job's paid
You
for.
still have ruptured pipe in there then.
You basically, from what I'm seeing, you have a better word is you have connections that are loose, and then the roots are working their way in the crevice.
So it's not compromised pipe itself, it's just actually working its way where the couple
Right now, from what I'm seeing, there's nothing compromised, possibly a very, very minor offset, but I'm not seeing anything major at all. Now, the bad thing is if you just do the hydrojetting, if years and years go by, it doesn't necessarily mean it will happen the first year or the second year, but it could. And that is if you have a root that offsets the pipe too much, then we wouldn't be able to sleeve it.
I see.
And then you're digging the street, and then you get a lot more expensive. So, in a way, by spending what did I say, $7,300? Spending that now would prevent you from spending, like $25,000 or so. Because if you had to dig the street and pull this long line and everything, it's going to cost you a lot of money to do that. If that had to be done.
I think what we need to do, since I got an HOA board that I'm working with, I'll probably need you to send me a written.
I'll write you up a written right now,
Okay.
actually. And
give me both
yeah,
options.
and by the way, I do this because we get it done pretty quick. I usually do them without the permit. If you want the permit, it costs you extra for the permit. And to tell you, in the city of Redondo Beach, I'm not sure what the permit costs. There's a big fluctuation in permit fee. For example, in Simi Valley, this will cost like $150. In City of LA, this will cost like $1,200 for the permit.
Is it
big fluctuation in between the two cities. I am not sure what it costs in Redondo Beach, but whatever that cost is, I'll pass it on to you. You can walk.
So do you need to get a permit if you're not going to be digging?
Technically,
you're just gonna be digging right here on the property
if you
line?
put a garbage disposal in your house or a light switch, you're supposed to have a permit. You're supposed to pull a permit pretty much for every little thing you do. Now, this is just my saying. Your pipe is approved to be here already. It's already installed. We're basically just repairing what's already here, already been approved to be here. So will I do that without the permit? And the answer is yes. However, there is always a slim chance, too, that if the city stops by as we're doing it.
And the city's right there. That's the city.
Oh, my goodness.
That's where you get permits.
Oh, my
I
goodness.
see guys going over there with blueprints.
Oh, my goodness. You know what? We pretty much have to get a permit here, yeah.
That's the city of Redondo Beach, the library, the police department here, everything.
Okay, because we occasionally will have the inspector stop by, and then we always tell them, oh, it's an emergency job. Of course, we pull a permit on every job we're doing. We're doing it simultaneously. And my guys get on the phone, get a permit. So yeah, in this case, then forget about it. Let's just get a permit.
All right, yeah, we'll let them know about that too then.
Yeah, speaking of which, sometimes that puts another, in a way, a little bit of a dormant day on the job, because just for the inspector to get out here and check it out, depending upon
But
the
you wouldn't
schedule.
need it for the hydrojet?
No, definitely we don't need it for the hydrojet.
Okay, just for the actual work.
Correct. And this is what's called the city encroachment permit, also known as a public works permit. It's not a building and safety permit. They're two different animals.
Yeah, my guess is it's probably more than $150 over here.
Well, it's just funny. The city of LA is just its own animal. They have.
Well, yeah, I'll offer it to them. I mean, if you think we could get possibly years out of it by hydrojetting it once a year?
Very likely, the answer is percentage-wise is yes. I mean, think about this. It's been how long old in this building?
26 years.
It's been 26 years. Maybe these roots have been coming in fairly serious for the last 10 years or so, and the pipe is still in okay shape. So to say another 10 years or so with the pipe being in okay shape, believe it or not, getting the root cut out of there really good actually does help the integrity of the pipe, because you're kind of trimming the tree, you're pruning the tree a little bit so that hopefully it's not going to damage it as much, but it still can.
Yeah, there's no guarantee.
And the answer is, percentage-wise, you probably have years and years. The question is, where does the root shift the pipe? Kind of like saying a little bit, just because you have the tree here, if you're pruning the root a little bit, it's still, the sidewalk could get raised, And if it gets raised to a certain point, we're no longer going to be able to just, prune the root or whatever. You got to then repair the sidewalk.
Now, do these things keep growing, or do they stop growing?
No. Understand, what causes root to get into the line is the line is faulty first.
Okay.
So through the vibrations, through faulty earthquakes, whatever, those connections come loose and start to seep water. That's when the roots get in. It's not the other way around. People think that once you put this new pipe in, we guarantee it forever. The new stuff is so much better. People think that you get a new pipe, and that to tell you how much better the new pipe is, that we wouldn't say we guarantee it forever. We would have to come back in a few years and redo it. But people think that the new pipe's going to be there, and the roots eventually are going to be like a jackhammer. They know there's water in there, and they're going to pound their way into it eventually. And no, it doesn't work that way.
Okay.
That's not the way it works, despite the fact that I've heard some plumbers say, oh, well, the pipe sweats. And it's like, oh, my gosh, that is so wrong. First off, there's water in the ground, first off. Secondly, the ground is very, very insulated. The pipe's not going to sweat when the pipe's in the ground. Even though it's hot water and stuff, that's a false. A person that didn't know what they were talking about, because they were making it sound like, geez, roots are going to always get in the pipe.
Well, yeah, I'll offer to them both ways and explain all that.
So you are the president of the association?
Vice president.
Or,
Vice president.
and how there's like 5 people on the board? Is that how it works?
4. Yeah.
And then you got a management company too that you guys
Don't have a
work with?
management company. No, we're a sole entity.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I think the more
Yeah, so we can cut through that.
entities you could get out of the mix, the better.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of work to do though, with the requirements and stuff.
Oh yeah, and we're
I own a couple of condos for investment, and I can't believe the bylaws and all that stuff of the manuals that they have
it's
for.
unbelievable.
I'm like, oh my goodness! I think they're like laws or rules that they have to have that. But it's a lot of work. I could see where some volunteers on the board are not going to want to do all that work.
Yeah, it has a lot. All right, well, we'll offer to them both
my
ways.
goodness! We got all this on tape here. Speaking of which, I'm going to give you